Hello and welcome. So today we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to start with a source that honestly just looks like pure chaos, a completely random list of English sentences. But what if I told you that inside that chaos lies the secret code to pretty much all of our daily conversations? Okay, let's dive right in.
So this is the big question for today. I mean, on the surface, it's just a jumble of words, right? But if we look a little closer, we can start to see this hidden architecture, this really fundamental structure that shapes almost everything we say.
Just take a look at these. They have absolutely nothing in common. Or do they? We've got a command, a really nice compliment, a deep philosophical truth, and, well, a kind of unfortunate medical update. It just feels totally random. But I promise you, it's not.
That's right. This messy, random-looking collection of phrases is actually the perfect blueprint. It shows us that all of our complex communication is built from just a few simple, really powerful building blocks. And today, we're going to uncover them one by one.
So, our first building block is what we'll call the language of action. This is the language we use when we want to make things happen, to cause a direct change in the world around us.
The key word here is purpose. When you're using the language of action, you're not just talking for the sake of talking. You're trying to get a result. You're trying to move someone from not doing something to doing it, or to change what they're already doing.
And what's really fascinating is the range here. Action language isn't just one note, not at all. It can be a forceful, super urgent command like, get inside the house. It can be a more serious warning like, don't neglect your studies. Or it can be a simple, helpful instruction like, fasten your seatbelt. The intensity changes, but the goal? It's always the same, to influence someone's behavior.
And the variety is just immense when you think about it. We can make a simple demand, give it to me. We can ask someone to influence somebody else. Can you persuade him? We offer advice, like you should see a doctor, to prompt action for someone's own good. We can even demand action in the conversation itself with a phrase like, don't beat around the bush. It's a whole toolkit for getting things done with words.
All right, let's move on to our second block. If that first one was all about interacting with the physical world, this next one, this is all about navigating our social and emotional worlds. Let's talk about the language of connection.
Think about it. We don't just go around giving orders and stating facts all day. A huge chunk of our communication is about building trust, showing a little empathy, and just generally keeping our relationships with other people healthy. This is the language that makes us feel seen and understood. It's the social glue.
Now, at first glance, this might just seem like a simple statement of fact, but think about what it really does. Saying I got lost is an act of vulnerability. You're admitting you need help. You're inviting someone else to step in and connect with you right when you need it.
And here's the other side of that same coin. This phrase isn't really about the delay itself. It's about repairing a social bond. It acknowledges that the other person might be frustrated, and it works to smooth things over. It's a tool we use to maintain a positive connection even when things don't go perfectly.
And our toolkit for connection is just huge. We give compliments to make people feel good about themselves. We express trust to make our bonds stronger. We show empathy with simple little phrases like, I know the feeling, just to validate what someone else is going through. None of these phrases are about making someone do something, but about making them feel something, and that feeling is connection.
Okay, so we've covered action and connection. What's left? Well, our third and final building block is the language of observation. This is how we share our reality. It's how we simply describe the world as we see it.
So the main goal here is just to transmit information. It's about saying, this is how things are. It can be about our internal state, what we're currently doing, or some universal truth we believe in. It's the language of reporting, of sharing knowledge and experience.
Let's start with a very personal, very direct observation. Now, this isn't a request for action, even though it might lead to one. And it's not primarily for connection, though you might get some sympathy. At its very core, it's just a simple, unvarnished statement of fact about your own personal reality.
And now, look at this incredible contrast. We go from a tooth to this timeless truth. This phrase is also an observation, but it's operating on this grand, universal scale. It's a shared observation about the nature of reality itself, and yet both phrases, the super mundane and the totally profound, belong in the exact same category.
This building block is just absolutely fundamental, isn't it? We use it to describe what's happening right now, to talk about our habits, to share little bits of wisdom we've picked up, to reflect on our memories, and to state our deepest beliefs. It's really the language of our consciousness.
So we've looked at action, connection, and observation. 3 totally distinct categories that we pulled out of what looked like a random mess. So what does it all add up to? What's the big takeaway?
And this is it. This is the key idea. You see, real fluency and effective communication aren't about memorizing an infinite number of sentences. No way. It's about mastering the function of these core building blocks and knowing which one to use at exactly the right time.
So it really all comes down to this. Pretty much everything we say falls into one of these 3 buckets. We're either trying to make something happen, that's action, we're nurturing our relationships, that's connection, or we're sharing our view of the world, that's observation. That's it. That's the fundamental architecture of how we talk.
And why does this matter? Well, because once you see this structure, you can't unsee it. You really start to listen differently to yourself and to others. You can ask yourself in the moment, am I trying to get something done here? Am I trying to connect with this person? Or am I just sharing information? Just being aware of these blocks makes you a much more precise, more intentional, and ultimately a way more effective communicator. So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. If you really think about your day, at work, with your family, with your friends, which building block do you find yourself leaning on the most? Is it action, connection, or observation? The answer might just reveal something really interesting about how you move through the world. Thanks for tuning in.